woman who had an affair with Chris Watts told our partners at the Denver Post that she hardly knew anything about Shanann and that she had only recently started a relationship with Chris. Well, there's now evidence to suggest that she knew about Shanann almost a year before the murders.
Nichol later talked to police.
And then one day he told me that he had 2 kids. I was like, that's pretty cool. And started telling me about his kids.
That sounded like a sarcastic comment.
No, I thought it was kind of cute. I was like, oh, he's a dad. It was like right around Father's Day, too.
She learned he was married even though she says he didn't wear a wedding ring. The other woman claims she met Watts in June. She says she thought Watts was at the end of his divorce proceedings.
I didn't know his significant other's name for a while. And then I think he told me his kids' names pretty quick.
This one is Chris Watts. Chris Watts.
But police had found her internet searches from the year before. Kessinger searched the name Shanann Watts in September of 2017.
I didn't know his significant other's name for a while.
By this June, Watts was hiding photos in a phone app that looked like a calculator.
I mean, he just told me, he's like, we're housebroke all the time. I was just like, that's unfortunate. And I asked him, I was like, do you have 401k? And he was like, yeah. And I mean, the reason I ask him this is because if I get in a relationship with somebody, I want to know, like, what kind of baggage that they have. I think that's important.
Am I in trouble because I deleted his text?
You're not in trouble. Is it criminal? No.
Well, in Colorado, destruction of evidence is a felony.
Is there concern that you're hiding something? Potentially.
I'm worried.
Nichol Kessinger did cooperate with police. She says she went to them when she started suspecting that Watts was behind his family's disappearance. Yeah, guys, police interviewed Nichol Kessinger, the other woman. She came forward to police about the same time that Watts' employer, Anna Darko, had found emails indicating a relationship between the two.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Watts the Obsession live stream and chat. And this evening, this Thursday evening, January 30th, 2025. And hey, I was just talking to our girl Sherry, our moderator, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I would have done a live stream tonight because I'm going to do one on Friday. I thought it was Wednesday. Literally, as I'm talking to you right now, I just realized it's Thursday. Oh my gosh. I had off work yesterday. My son had off school for Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year, new federal holiday. Having off Wednesday, man, throws a wrench in it. And hey, if you are in upstate New York or many other places in the country, the weather is crazy. So we had a snow day earlier. My week is just all messed up. I'm so glad that you guys are all here. Welcome to everybody who's coming in. I think I said hello to most of you in chat. If I didn't catch you, say hello. I'll try to say hello back. Hey, Diane, I know I didn't get a chance to say hi to you. Welcome. So glad you're here. Off-topic question, the Bella Watts series. Did I ever release part 3? I did. You know what? And as soon as I'm going to be playing some content, so as soon as I get that rolling, I will go and pick up the link to the playlist. There is a Bella Watts playlist. So I will pick that up and put it in chat for you. Hey, Aaron. Hey, James McLean. Nice to see you. Yeah. So, and there's going to be a part 4. The part 3 it's really kind of sad. It's called Daddy No, and it talks about Chris Watts' relationship with Bella. That one was actually really, really hard for me to make, as you can imagine. And I think all of them might be hard to watch, but you guys know that. This is just a hard topic, and I'm so glad that you guys are here for it. So we want everyone to definitely participate in chat. We always want to know what you think. I say that all the time, but I really mean it. I read every single one of your comments. Love hearing what you guys think. We just ask that you please be respectful to the victims, to their family members, and of course, to one another, right? Just be a good person. We just want to be good people right around here. Hey, Lotus Spider, welcome. How are you doing? Hey, Molly McClure, how are you doing? Oh, nice. Molly says, hi, my first live. Hi, y'all, from Washington State. Well, hey, Molly, I'm so glad that you could make it. Yeah, we have some new faces in here. That's great. So I don't know if you guys saw by your demand, I just uploaded a video that reviews and analyzes and goes over in detail Chris Watts' phone's health app data. So that's the, flights climbed, steps taken, distance traveled in those critical hours around the time this tragedy occurred, in the early morning hours of August 13th, 2018, while Chris Watts was at Saratoga Trail and at Survey 319. I think from that information, you can kind of glean a lot of, perhaps details of what may have happened that, is not stated because the only person that knows that is, Chris Watts, God, and perhaps a Mistress, right? Hey, Clark, great to see you. So happy you're here. So that video is out there. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. So many people have asked me for that. I talked about that information a long time ago, and it was kind of embedded in a few different lives where we went really deep into the, just everything about his cell phone data, the GPS, the cell phone data, everything. So I kind of boiled it down for you and put it in one video. So there you go. Now you have that information. Use it as you'd like, and happy birthday. So tonight, what we're going to talk about is, some of you know this because I have talked about before. Hey, Carrie, it's great to see you. I have definitely talked about it before. Nichol Kessinger exchanged 20 plus pages of text messages with Agent Kevin Kobak. So he is a CBI agent who primarily interviewed her. So she had 5 interviews. The first one was with the FBI. Kevin Kobak wasn't there, right? Then there were the 2 videotaped interviews, and one with her dad. That was on August 16th, 2018. And then there was the one where, she was at like the long table, and Tammy Lee and Stacey Galbraith came in. And then, oh gosh, what is the victim advocates lady? What's her name? Oh, I can't think of it right now. I can't believe it. Okay. Anyway, she came in, and you could tell Kevin Kobak was kind of getting annoyed with her. She was wearing long sleeves like she was in the previous interview, right? Hey, Deidre Gay, welcome. How are you doing? And then there were the 2 phone interviews. Half of each was redacted, but we do on this channel have the transcript manuscript form. So there's a playlist for that too. I'll drop that in the chat and put in the description to the video. So all 5 of her interviews in their completeness, including the part that was redacted, we have the transcript manuscript that I read out for you, doing my best, Kevin Kobak, Nichol Kessinger exchanging voices. So all of that information is there. So all of the interview material that we know that was completed by Nichol Kessinger and law enforcement is in a playlist on this channel. Now, in between those interviews with Kevin Kobak, there were over 20 pages of text message exchanges between Nichol Kessinger and Kevin Kobak, starting with one that was right around 2 a.m. the day after her first interview, the one where her daddy was there. Dude, she freaking texts a CBI agent at like 2 a.m., like all kinds of lines being crossed here, right? Hey, Thomas McCarthy, welcome. How are you doing? Hey, McJay, it's great to see you, my friend. I know how much you love Watts. So glad you're here. Thank you for the support. And I think, when we take in that information, what was said between Kevin Kobak and Nichol Kessinger in those text exchanges that ostensibly could have been private, they are public now. I'm getting into a topic we'll talk about a little bit later. I think it puts the interviews themselves into more of a context. Now, I'm also going to, I don't want to say gloss over, I'm also going to go into some of the highlights of each of the interviews as they are referred to in those exchanges between Mistress Kessinger and Kevin Kobak in the text messages. Okay, so again, it's all about context, putting the pieces together, because we all know Nichol Kessinger ain't giving us the whole picture. That's for damn sure, right? Chris Watts, we know, is taking shit to the grave. And law enforcement is being anything other than forthcoming as it comes to this case. So what are we left with? Well, being what junior detectives, as district attorney work would like to say, or, just sleuthing it to try to figure out the truth. And here on this channel, and from, my mind and my heart, it's finding complete justice for the victims and just ensuring justice is complete in this case, because there is no doubt that it is not. In my mind, I don't even know if I need to give that disclaimer anymore. I think on this channel, through all of the information we've covered, through all of the deep dives we've done, the research we've done, together in collaboration with other channels and creators and people, we have proven that, right? So without further ado, you're so funny, Clark. I'm going to bring something here into the stream, and let's check it out. I hope you guys are all doing awesome. Yeah. Happy New Year is a new year starting January 1st. And hey, Lunar New Year was last year. So let's just say Happy New Year again. I hope everyone's doing great and that you're feeling good and that you're taking care of yourself. Because as I always say at the end of these live streams, life is hard. So be good to each other. But most of all, be good to yourself for God's sake. Because we don't need to make it any harder on ourselves than it already is, right? Seriously, though. All right. And hey, Anaphylaxis, I know you're lurking, and I'm so happy to know that. Welcome back to Watts, The Obsession. Today, we're covering the Watts case, and thank you so much for taking time to watch this video. Please click like and subscribe, and I hope you can join us in the next live chat. The sound clip we're about to listen to is an interview between Nichol Kessinger, the interviewee, and Kevin Kobak from a phone interview on August 17th, 2018. It's an eye-opener for sure, and you're going to find a lot of those in this video. Take a listen.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm really trying to help you guys. I need you guys to help me too. Like,
Yes,
we'll
ma'am.
do this as a team, but just don't
So
fucking let me down,
the
please.
reason why
Oh, guys, let me just do a really quick audio check. I did a live stream recently. I had my camera on, and my camera has a mic on it, and I had double mics on, and I did not even realize that. Please give me feedback about the audio. It's not going to hurt my feelings. Is the audio okay? Are y'all good? Please give me some feedback so I can move forward knowing that you guys can hear this okay or not, and then I can go and change something.
we can't, like, I think I did think about this yesterday, that I would like to sit down with you once we have your text messages and the phone calls, and we can put them in some type of easily looking, that we can sit down and look at them and compare them, and we can kind of get the context of how everything was going that night. I would like to do that with you. Unfortunately, so the download that we got yesterday is going to take multiple days to be analyzed. I probably won't have it back till next week. And then because you guys did have so many text messages, one of my analysts is working on getting those in order, so we can put something together where we can actually sit down and discuss it. But I do think that's something that I want to do in the near future, sometime probably next week.
I mean, I can do that. I don't mind giving you guys my time. I just need you guys to, like, help me with my employer and try to just help me brace for this media thing and just try.
So
Now, we are accustomed to Nichol Kessinger behaving in this manner. I personally think that she has a very narcissistic personality, a disorder, in fact. And this example, this soundbite, speaks to the sense of entitlement that she shows us she is firmly invested in throughout all of her interviews. Nichol Kessinger sees herself as the center of her universe. Well, aren't we all? But she sees herself as the most important person in the room, in the county, in the state, in the world, all the time. Now, many of us have listened to a lot of interview time between Nichol Kessinger and Kevin Kobak, and we see that the way she treats him and talks to him is problematic. Same thing with her father, by the way. We're going to take a look at some text messages between Nichol Kessinger and Kevin Kobak that were available for only a couple of weeks. Way back when the discovery first came out, I found these files in the recesses of my computer when I was looking for something totally different. And I thought, oh my God, I thought about these kind of, sort of, few times over the years, had no idea where they were, couldn't find them anywhere else. I'm going to read them all to you in a little bit. But as far as Kevin Kobak goes, he expects that she is also the center of his universe, that she's always going to be the center of his attention. So people like Nichol Kessinger ask for people to bend over backwards and make exceptions and concessions and to do things for them that are just not normally socially acceptable. Do you see that in Nichol Kessinger throughout her interviews as it pertains to this case?
Yeah, I'm with you. We definitely need to accelerate the case, because the more it takes, the less sure that they are of situations.
This is such a wild case and so unconventional in so many ways. We all have asked the question, why in God's name is Nichol Kessinger age 30? Why is her father in the interview room with her? Why is he speaking up? And what the heck is he talking about? So they're going to be less sure of situations. What exactly are those situations, Mr. Kessinger?
he murdered her. She's out of the picture. You're never going to know if she was pregnant. If he can get away with murder, you're not going to, I got divorced from my wife. You say, do you understand what I'm saying here? If she's gone,
But this,
Don't lead,
hypothetically,
please.
Yeah.
Don't lead on.
hypothetically, if she,
Okay.
you understand where I'm going. If
Right,
you
but
didn't know,
You're leading into
Right.
questions that are nothing with your,
if you didn't know though,
wait, Nick,
that she was there,
did you hear what I said?
I'm following you.
In this interview, we definitely see Mr. Kessinger calling all the shots, or at least many of the shots. And it is not lost on anybody who's watched these interviews that it is so bizarre.
One more, we just want to make sure there's resolution.
Absolutely.
That's why we come to you guys,
Yeah.
pound it down until there's
I'm
nothing left.
sorry that you're talking again today. I really am. I don't want to put you through any more trauma than you've already been through.
Little did Kobak know. Let me just pause this really quick. Oh my gosh. On the thumbnail for the Bella Watts part 3, I put part 4. What am I thinking? So I just want to let you know I'm putting the link to the Bella Watts series in chat right now, but don't leave. Watch it later, and I'll put in the description too, okay? I know that's a really highly requested series, and thank you guys for caring and watching. All right. So that there was a lot more trauma that they were both going to go through to come. Nichol Kessinger did a total of 5 interviews with law enforcement. So I mapped them out along with some other significant events that happened in August of 2018 here on this calendar. So it was on August 15th, 2018, when Nichol Kessinger held an interview with FBI in the park with her daddy and her doggy on that afternoon. This was the same day that Chris Watts made his so-called confession. Then on the 16th, the interview that we just saw some clips from, where they're sitting at the round table with Kobak, Nichol Kessinger, and Daddy Dwayne. That was on the 16th. That interview lasted over 3 hours, and many, many topics were covered, except for the ones she didn't want to cover, like the 111-minute phone conversation, which happened, as you can see here on this calendar, on the eve of the murders, August 12th, 2018. After that, the following day, on August 17th, 2018, there was a 1.5-hour phone conversation between Kobak and Kessinger. We are going to go over this in the next live stream. I've referred to it as the lost interview because this phone interview, as well as the next phone interview, which was on August 21st, 2018, at some point during the course of the interview gets cut off. I believe it is redacted because I was able to find the manuscript transcripts of the rest of the conversation. Again, not at all easy to find. And what is discussed between Kessinger and Koberger after the audio cuts out is absolutely... I just said what's discussed between Kessinger and Koberger. I just caught that. Sometimes I have Idaho in my mind. Obviously, I meant Kobak. In my opinion, edge of your seat material. And then there is the final recorded interview, and that is again between Nichol Kessinger and Kevin Kobak, and that happens on August 23rd, 2018. Oh my. After that point, she is handed over to Dave Baumhover, and Kobak is like, see you later, splitting out of the picture. We can only speculate as to why that is. People have some theories. I've had some theories, but that is how that is. Now, when she does get handed to Dave Baumhover, she writes law enforcement an 8-page bullet-pointed shorthand letter, so to speak, going over the entire relationship between her and Chris Watts. And we just recently, like within the last month, did a really in-depth live stream on that 8-page letter. So if you're interested in that and you didn't see that live stream, go find it. We did it in the last month. As that may spark their interest. And when you read that 8-page letter and you hear the contents of all of the recorded interviews and you read the text messages between Nichol Kessinger and Kevin Kobak that we're going to get into in just a couple minutes here, it is very clear to see that Nichol Kessinger is on a gigantic cover my ass mission. Why is that? As Kevin Kobak stated in the second interview that she had with law enforcement on August 16th, I really hate for you to have to come back in here. Don't want to cause you any more trauma than you're already experiencing. This is not the kind of thing we like to do twice. Well, Nichol Kessinger is like, aw, poor Nichol Kessinger. It's always like the little baby girl. It's sickening. I know you guys know. Sign me up, baby. I'm going to do it 5, 6, 7 times more, and you can interview me all day long. There is a reason for that. And if we were to find the answer to the question, why did she do that? I think that we would understand the grounds for the need for Nichol Kessinger to be fully investigated. This case needs to be reopened. The whole thing is a little strange, and I realize that is an understatement. On one hand, Nichol Kessinger doesn't want them to know anything. She's hiding everything she can from them. She's lying time and time again. But on the other hand, she makes herself available to them as much as they want, and she reaches out to them time and time again, which is so super weird. It's clear to me that Nichol Kessinger is used to having things run the way she wants them, and she thinks this is going to run just the same. During a recent previous live stream, and recently around the same time as that live stream just a week or two ago, I also uploaded a video that was about what Nichol Kessinger said to law enforcement about her text messages between herself and her self-proclaimed bestie, whose name is Charlotte Nelson. Charlotte Nelson was the person who, my God, I hope she has better friends than Nichol Kessinger. Her dad just died, and Nichol Kessinger wanted to talk about, everything having to do with herself, and she had absolutely no compassion for Charlotte Nelson. And as far as I can find, and based on what is said in the interviews, Nichol Kessinger only told her very best friend, according to her, Charlotte Nelson, about Chris Watts one time. Now, remember that this tragedy happened on August 13th. According to the discovery by Stacey Galbraith, who has a pretty tightly written discovery on that topic, Nichol Kessinger and Charlotte Nelson were exchanging back and forth via text messages about Chris Watts on August 12th. On August 12th, Nichol Kessinger decided to tell her best friend about her new beau, her new muse, her new love, Okay, now I want to make a point about this. Now, in the ultimatum video that I just dropped, I don't know, about a month ago, within the last month too, I think that is a good video. If you haven't watched it and you are into this case, definitely go check it out. I just put a lot of work into that video. It's tight. All the information is verified. Nichol Kessinger did not tell her best friend, Charlotte Nelson, about Chris Watts until August 12th, 2018. The murders happened in the early morning hours of August 13th, 2018. This is a matter of hours before Chris Watts' family is annihilated. Now, in that video, I also pointed out that it was on August 8th, just a few days before. Chris Watts says in his interview when he's asked by Dave Baumhover, he's like, what's up with your Facebook? Did you delete it? What's up with that? He knew the date it was deleted, and he said, well, I went over to Nichol Kessinger's that day after work, and, she told me that she had told her friends about me, and I didn't want them to go look in and find out that Shanann was pregnant. I figured that Nichol already knew that Shanann was pregnant, but I didn't want her friends to know, right? So what is up with this timing? Really? Future husband? Isn't that a little strange? They've been seeing each other for 6 weeks, according to both of them, maybe even longer than that. And it wasn't until hours before this tragic murder occurred did Nichol Kessinger confide in her best friend. Now, there are two things that Kevin Kobak consistently asks Nichol Kessinger about that she just refuses to give a straight answer to. One is the 111-minute phone call conversation just hours before the murders of Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and baby Nico. And the other topic that she just will not give a straight answer to is about what she may have said or may not have said to Chris Watts about his children and the problem that they may be or that his wife may have been and their relationship moving forward. Of course, she denies that she said anything negative whatsoever. But come on, guys, we have gotten a really good sample of this woman's personality, and that is absolutely positively not the truth. Listen to this from the final recorded interview, August 23rd. I played a little bit of this in the last Okay, before I go into that, I just want to read this. So James McLean says she was sure he was leaving Shanann Watts when she told her friends, and absolutely. And as I point out in that ultimatum video, that day, August 8th, was a huge, big freaking deal because it was the day when Nichol Kessinger told him that she had told her friends about him. He deleted his Facebook post. The ultrasound was also that night. Chris Watts went to Nichol Kessinger's apartment right after work. They had just returned home from North Carolina the day before. I don't even know how he pulled it off. Also on that day, she gave him a key to her apartment. And absolutely, I think that's such an important point, James, that she was sure he was leaving Shanann when she told her friends. It was also on that night when it is noted in the discovery that Nichol Kessinger, shortly after Chris Watts left her apartment, was Googling things related to marrying your mistress, which is the first time we see a Google search with the word like marrying any conjugation of that word, but she's still qualifying herself as a mistress. So, hey, to say that she never thought of herself as a mistress is obviously bullshit. She proves it to us herself. Ding, ding, ding. Live stream, and then I'm going to play something that happened later in that interview that we hadn't listened to yet, and then we are going to those text messages. I promise.
We talked about this before, but we didn't talk about the specific context of what that message said regarding the children. So obviously, in the situation that we're looking at now with the death of 2 children and all the other circumstantial stuff going around in the case, I just want to make sure there was no comments ever made by you regarding, children or dislike of children or love of children, either way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. Let me find it. I think this is where this starts.
Okay, so that little clip that I just played right there, that is about half an hour into the interview on August 23rd. Now, they talk about a lot of things. They're working on the phone. She talks to some people. She talks to that Hazel Heckler, who is supposed to be giving her, providing her resources for emotional support and things like that. And then this next clip is at 1 hour and 53 minutes into the interview because Kevin Kobak has to use the technique of revisiting topics that he really wants the answer to a question he may have about the topic as many times as he needs to, because he don't ever get a strange answer from this girl. Never.
So what you're doing now, let me ask you about the text with you and Charlotte. You talk about children and he's got his own kids and that makes you kind of uncomfortable because you'd like to have your own family. Put that in context for me. Is that a fair statement the way I'm saying it?
I mean, I guess. There was never anything I said to him though.
Okay, that's what I want to know. Did you ever say anything to him about
Never.
anything about his kids being a problem? Anything about his wife being a problem?
Never. I always try to be so-inclusive with them. And even with her, when I was talking to her, it wasn't that his kids were an issue. It was just this man already has a life. Should I go build my own, with somebody who hasn't done that yet? And then she was the one that was saying, I was engaged once and it didn't work and now I'm engaged again. And she's trying to tell me it doesn't matter. I'm on my second time of going through this. And she's like, I love this man very, very much. And she was saying he's not gonna love you less because he's already been through marriage once and been separated and already had kids. He's not gonna.
Those references were never made to him though about children.
Never.
So Charlotte, that's who you were talking with.
Yes.
Did you one time tell me Charlotte's a lesbian?
No, she's engaged.
Okay. Were you talking about one of your friends that might have been a lesbian at some point?
That's not the case. I don't think so. I don't.
You never said that about any of your friends that I inquired about?
I don't think
okay.
So. I don't think that
I think on the first day we talked with your dad there, I inquired about Charlotte.
Yeah, you asked me about Charlotte and eHarmony, and I went through all my texts, and I was like, what is he talking about? and I couldn't find it. So I was wondering if maybe somebody like referenced both of those two, but not in together.
Okay.
I'm wondering if that's where that came from.
So Charlotte is your friend. She's your closest friend.
Yeah.
You guys have this conversation, but it never went anywhere besides her and you.
Yeah.
You never mentioned it to Chris. You never said anything about your kids, or his kids, pardon me, damaging your guys' relationship.
No.
Or
no.
nothing like that.
Never. And I mean, and even in that, it wasn't like I never said his kids were a problem. It was just like he already has a life. I don't know about
Right.
that.
So in light of what's occurred, though, what I'm trying to make sure is that there was never a conversation that you guys had that he might have thought that you were saying, I can't be with you if you have kids.
I wouldn't be with him if I couldn't.
Okay.
Liar.
So I'm just making 100% sure that those.
I promise you.
Okay.
I really want you to pull these texts because all the stuff.
Kobak, she was 100% lying. I hope he knows that for real. He does know that. This is all just dog and pony show crap.
I've been telling you will sync up.
And I hope we can. I haven't been very lucky with your phones yet. There's been nothing but a pain. So this one's coming with me.
Okay, I think.
Jeez.
I know this is a task. I'm gonna. Some of these might be duplicates, but whatever. I'm gonna send these to you. No, that was kind of something between me and her, and it wasn't even really the kids. It was that like he'd already been married before, and I was just like, I don't know if I like am in a long-term relationship with this guy. Is that something he would eventually want? Because that's something like I would eventually want.
So your concern was more about his prior marriage than his children.
I guess I wasn't really that worried about him at that time. Like if you read the majority of those texts, like it's very, very flattering to him and all the nice things that I have to say about him. It was just that I wasn't like 100% committed to him yet. I mean, I was monogamous with him. I wasn't seeing any other men.
Oh my God.
But I wasn't like, hey, this is the guy I want to spend the rest of my life with. And part of the reason that
Except I'm Googling wedding dresses, marrying your mistress. Man I'm having an affair with says he will leave his wife, marrying your mistress. But hey, it's just like all casual, smashable, smoozy woogey.
I was uncertain. I mean, yeah, he'd already built a life, but honestly, like he wasn't out of the marriage that he was already in.
Right.
So I'm
Right,
not
Ashley?
gonna go tell the whole world like, hey, I've got this guy, and I'm gonna take in his kids, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do that, and it wasn't because I had any problems with them. It's just he was married.
Okay.
I know the context of that text now, like looking at it looks so bad.
You have to look at it from the perspective that I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
And how it could be misconstrued or made out to sound something another way. That's why I wanted to give you the opportunity to say what it really means. Okay?
Thank you so much for coming out here with me, Christopher. I am having a wonderful time. You mean a lot to me, and I'm glad that you're having a blast. I am so out of breath.
Hi. It's me. I guess just call me back when you have a chance. Hi. It's me. I miss your face. I was just.
All right, guys. So now I'm going to read a set of texts across several weeks, a couple weeks at least, between Nichol Kessinger and Kevin Kobak, who is the CBI agent who questioned her in all of the interviews, except for the very first one when she was interviewed by the FBI. So this is very interesting because, he said to her, you can text me anytime if you remember anything, probably thinking, slim chance she was going to remember anything. Most people aren't going to really follow up, especially I think her first text to him was at like 2 or 3 a.m. And she just keeps, going back at it. And, I'm not going to say anything more about it. I just want you to see these text messages. Again, they appeared in this one rendition of Discovery shortly after the Discovery came out for a very short period of time. And then they were gone. This is among the material that was in one of the very first renditions of Discovery for, a freaking short time. And then they were pulled. Just like her, the relevant phone record, which luckily we do have our hands on now. luckily people were really into this case from go, right? So as soon as this stuff came out, they preserved it. Well, law enforcement district attorney's office didn't think people were all that smart, I guess, or that, ninja-like, that we don't have quick enough reflexes to save these items, but some people did, and some of it can still be hard to find, but you know what? It is out there. So I'm not going to just be reading through the text. Like, I'm also interweaving, like, okay, here's a set of texts, and then, then another interview happened, and this is what was said, and this is how it relates to what was said in the text. So it's kind of creating a storyline here. So just hang with me, and ooh la la. It's time. And then poof, like so many other things in the discovery along the way, they were gone. So I don't know if you guys have heard these or read these messages. In the comments below, please let me know if you have. I'm really interested to know that. And also, let me know what you think about the interaction between Kessinger and Kobak. My dad is coming to get me. I'll meet you there. Now we go to Friday, August 17th. I remembered more stuff. So that's the day after her first interview with Kobak. Then Kobak says, okay, did you sleep? Kessinger, more than I have lately, probably about 5 hours. Kobak, good. Are you working today? Kessinger, no, took off today. Not really sure how to deal with my coworkers. So I think maybe it'd be good to try to set up a meeting with EA and my bosses from both companies and give them a brief background of what is occurring and ask them for help with this. Was hoping maybe I could refer them to you if they had questions. Kobak, sure, I will help any way I can. I would like to talk to you about what you remember. Can I call you at about 9 when I get to my office? Kessinger, yes, I want to get this all wrapped up pretty soon. Now, that was her initial message that was to him at like 2 a.m., and he responded to her at 6:37 a.m., by the way. Kobak, okay, I will call you as soon as I get to my office. Thanks for contacting me. Kessinger, okay. Friday, August 17th, 9:34 a.m. Kessinger, I am ready when you are. Kobak says, I'm in a meeting and will call you soon. Kessinger, okay. Kobak says, sorry, still stuck here. Give it a few more. Kessinger, okay. Kobak, few more minutes. Sorry. Kessinger impatiently says, is it possible to find out if my name is in the sealed affidavit thing that is to be open next week? Would like to contact my employer about the media thing and trying to be proactive with work. And it would be nice if I could give them a heads up about when things might take place. And then she sends another message after that saying, what time are you available? Kobak says, just wrapping up the metro, and I'll call you soon. Okay, so at this time, Kevin Kobak gives Nichol Kessinger a call, and she's been anxious to receive from him. And I'm just going to play you the beginning of that recording where he says the date and the time and what it is he is doing. So here it is.
Today is August 17th, 2018. The time is 10:51 a.m. This is Agent Kevin Kobak from CBI making a phone call to witness in the Watts matter, Nichol Lee Kessinger at 720-656-9605. Nicole texted me last night and said that she recalled some further information after an interview with her on the 16th. So the phone call will be to update whatever information she wants to provide and address a couple other issues that were not addressed during the initial interview.
So that phone call has happened, and in the live stream tomorrow night, Friday evening, February 16th, we're going to go over that interview that was partially redacted. It's a long one and it's a good one. So now this conversation between... Oh, I know. I had to cut out some video segments because they were, I got some trouble from YouTube from them. So sorry when you just see black here. That's what happened. I was like, what the heck? Now I remember. Kessinger and Kobak via text message continues on that same day, August 17th, 2018. Kobak then says, Nikki, call me about the victim advocate. Hazel Heckers is her name. Phone will show on her caller ID is a certain number, but her direct number is a different number. Friday, August 17th, 2:59 p.m. Kessinger says, "Can I ask, how were you able to acquire my texts between Charlotte and I?" Kobak responds by saying, "We have all your texts for the past 7 days."
Okay, now this is super important, all right? Let's put this in context. The date is Friday, August 17th, okay? So she asks, "Can I ask how you're able to acquire my text between Charlotte and I?" All right, this is August 17th, all right? So the previous day, my friends, follow me here, follow me, was August 16th. That was the day when Kobak had his first interview with her, where Daddy was present, in that room with the yellow table, right? We all know that one. And then their first phone interview is going to happen a few hours from now, later that evening. So at some point, we have to realize when Nichol Kessinger, like a ding light bulb went off, and she's like, "Oh shit, man. They have all my texts between myself and Charlotte." She asked him, "Well, we have all your texts for the last week." Now, what she is going to be now disclosing, quote, air quotes, to Kevin Kobak is going to shape shift, is to become a predominantly cover my ass narrative that she has to deliver, because now she knows what law enforcement has seen. You get it? That's why this is so important.
Now, this is an important point here because I think this also
How much you want to bet I say the exact same thing? My former self. Let's see.
so bolsters what I believe to be true, that the only conversation that Kessinger had with her bestie, Charlotte, about Chris Watts was on August 8th, 2018, the day before Shanann, Bella Celeste, and baby Nico.
Sorry, I misspoke there. It was August 12th, the day before the family was annihilated. That was a misspeak. Sorry.
Were murdered. Isn't that strange? They had been dating for 6 weeks, according to them, and she doesn't mention to her best friend about her new love interest until the day before the murder of his family. Very, very strange indeed. Thank you for the info. Why did I sign that paperwork if you guys already had the information? Not upset by any means, just confused. Do you guys get all of my text messages going forward as well? Kobak says, again, the phone could contain other texts that were not captured by the cell phone company. No, we do not get your texts. Kessinger then says, understood. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Kobak says, you too. So now, on Saturday, August 18th at 3:45 p.m., once again, it's Kessinger that initiates the communication. She says, I remember more. Then she says, I'm with my family tonight, though, and it's a safe and positive environment for me right now. I can give you time first thing in the morning if you would like.
I'm sorry. Let's just start this again, because this particular test literally makes me throw up. Okay. So now it's Saturday, August 18th. All right. They have had their August 16th interview, that first interview when Daddy was there, that really long interview with all the sound bites. Oh, leave him alone and everything else. Okay. There was a phone interview the evening before, after she had learned that law enforcement has all of her text messages for the past 7 days. Now, the next day, this is what she says to Kevin Kobak, like anyone gives a flying fuck, seriously? All right.
That initiates the communication. She says, I remember more. Then she says, I'm with my family tonight, though, and it's a safe and positive environment for me right now. I can give you time first thing in the morning if you would like. Guys, that comment, let me know what you think about it, okay? Wow. And then the next day on Sunday, August 19th at 7:39 p.m., Kobak responds, okay, I'm out of town until Tuesday. Can you wait until then? And Kessinger says, yes, sir. Kobak says, okay, thanks. You doing okay? Kessinger responds, I'm all right. I informed my employer of the situation, getting ready to head to a safe spot tonight in case my name is released tomorrow. APC
released me for extended leave.
Like she thinks anyone gives a shit. Like, I'm with my family right now. It's a safe, warm, fuzzy place. So I can't really talk about this because I'm having my safe, fuzzy, warm moments. Now, I talked to my employer going to a safe spot with my pillow and my teddy bear. Dude, seriously? Like, never once. So she's had 2 interviews now. It was a total of like 5.5 hours between that first interview with Kobak, and the FBI interview, plus a phone interview. So that's going to be about a total of 6.5 hours. She has not even acknowledged or shown any compassion or care for the fact that this beautiful family that she was so closely connected to was murdered, except for that one fake cry and that August 16th interview, and they were just so little. I mean, it's abominable. It's horrible. It's Nichol Kessinger, you're disgusting.
Meet Hazel tomorrow, trying to be proactive and positive. You guys are releasing his motive in the affidavit tomorrow? Kevin responds, motive is never released. That is media speculation. Kessinger actually says, thank you.
Imagine that. Sorry, I just have to read this.
And Kobak says, you're welcome.
Gamma Sherry says, Dear Nikki, you're not a victim. Sincerely, everyone. Well said. Thank you.
Now we go to Tuesday, August 21st, and this is at 7:31 a.m. So this is a little bit later, and there's another phone interview on this day. So Kessinger says, initiating the conversation again, what time would you like to talk today? Kobak responds, good morning. Do you want to meet or talk via phone? Kessinger responds that same day at 12:33 p.m. saying, is lunch still a good time for you? So they must have had like a little quick phone conversation voice to voice because there's something missing there. And Kobak says, in a meeting, I will be a few. How about late afternoon? Kessinger asks, what time are you thinking? Kobak responds, I have another meeting at 2, maybe about 4. Kessinger, okay. Kobak, I'll call you around then. Tuesday, August 21st at 3:49 p.m. Kessinger initiates the conversation. Still a go for 4? Kobak responds, 6:30. Will you be available? Just got to my office. Kessinger says, yes, sir. Kobak says, okay, sorry, the traffic was terrible. Kessinger says, it's okay. Do you want to just do this tomorrow? Found a little info from Verizon as well. Kobak, nope, calling right now. Kessinger says, okay. So then they have their second phone interview conversation, which is partially redacted. And we will be going over that in a live stream next week because boo-boo, we got it. We got it. On Wednesday, August 22nd, 2:30 p.m., Kessinger initiates another back and forth by saying, does he have to make a plea on November 19th? Also, remember what I was doing on Sunday evening? Kobak says, no, okay, I'll call in a moment. Uh-oh. She remembers what she was doing Sunday evening, guys. That is the day in question. It is the day before the murders. The day when Chris Watts and Nichol Kessinger had the 111-minute phone conversation that nobody remembers a damn thing about. And you know what's really funny about that day? Nichol Kessinger name is all over the discovery, all over the place. In fact, the very first item in the official discovery timeline is Nichol Kessinger searching for the name Shanann Watts on September 1st, 2017, almost a whole year before the murders and about 10 months before they said that they even met. Her name appears throughout that entire discovery timeline until all of a sudden, after Lazy Dog on Saturday evening, August 11th, there's no mention of her until well after the murders.
Now, I don't want that point to be lost on anybody. Nichol Kessinger, her name appears all throughout the discovery timeline. Okay, they go to Lazy Dog that Saturday evening. Then there's a mention of her at 10:02 p.m. right after Chris Watts leaves her house. It says Nichol Kessinger, Googled Shanann Watts, Chris Watts, 2825 Saratoga Trail, and Ronnie Watts. Okay, after that 10:02 p.m. mentioning of her, there's no mentioning of her on Sunday in the timeline. There is conspicuously absent any reference to the 111-minute phone conversation or the 6:16 a.m. ping. There's no mention of her again for almost 24 hours until Monday evening,
the day of the annihilation. And so it would be 48 hours, probably around 42 hours with no mention of Nichol Kessinger, right over that critical time when many critical things happen involving Kessinger. So what do y'all think about that? I think, no, we're on to you. There is no mention of the 111-minute call between Kessinger and Watts that is in such great question by investigators and the public and all of us junior detectives. Rourke, that one's for you, baby. There is no mention of it. There is no mention of her on the day before the murders or the day of the murders. Isn't that curious? Because her and Chris Watts had a whole lot of contact. Let's take a quick listen to what Kessinger had to say about the 111-minute phone conversation in her interview on August 21st with Kevin Kobak.
His wife gets home sometime at about 2 o'clock on that morning. So
no, she got home on Sunday.
Pardon me, Sunday. She got home on Sunday. So did you ever talk to him late on Sunday night?
No, we were on the phone, but I mean, I had to let him go and get up and go to work.
That was the 9 to 11 call it was like a 2-hour phone call we talked about yesterday on Sunday night from 9 p.m. to 11.
And that would have been the last time that I talked to him until the work day.
If I have to sign a release, then I'll come meet you myself, Kobak says. You do. Space that. Where's the best time? Where is best and what time? I look open tomorrow, Kessinger says. I think I need to get my phone swapped out, and I'm unsure how long it's going to take. Hoping I can get it done over the phone. I really don't want to go to Verizon. Let me do some research. I need to get a spare phone while I'm at it. Kobak says, okay. Kessinger says, so I can do it all remote. I will do tonight, and can we meet early tomorrow? Kobak says, okay. What's early? Kessinger says, whatever time in the morning works for you. Kobak says, where can we meet? Kessinger says, in your office. That one in Lakewood where I met Hazel? Kobak says, yes. Kessinger, would it be best for me to come there? Do news people go there? Kobak says, sure. And there's lots of people in and out usually. Reporters don't come there. Kessinger says, what time? Kobak says 10 a.m. And then he says, let's make it 11. Kessinger says on August 23rd, Thursday, August 23rd, so this is the day of the interview, I really need you guys to approve that therapist. I am waiting as patiently as possible, and I am struggling. Kobak says, okay, I wrote a letter for that yesterday. Let's talk with Hazel. Kessinger says, thanks. Got my access. We have this selfish brat text here. Let me just go back a couple in case you were like thinking about something else. 23rd, Thursday, August 23rd. So this is the day of the interview. I really need you guys to approve that therapist. I am waiting as patiently as possible, and I am struggling. Seriously. Let's all take a moment of silence and pity for Nichol Kessinger. You fucking kidding me? Kobak says, okay, I wrote a letter for that yesterday. Let's talk with Hazel. Kessinger says, thanks. Got my access to my old phone and the SIM card is broken, so I couldn't swap them out. I need to either find phone or I need to go to Verizon and see if I can get a new SIM card. Should we still meet today, or can you guys give me a day or so and figure it out? Kobak says, they will give you a new card for free. Then he says, today is great. We can move it till later this afternoon if that helps. Kessinger then says, they only give you a new card free or the current phone I have insured, my phone. But I think they are fairly cheap if I can get one for my old droid. What time this afternoon? Kessinger says, what time this afternoon? Kobak says, I'm heading to my office now and we'll work with you on whatever time works for you. Kessinger says, Verizon doesn't open until 10. I'm going to see what I can do at that time, and I will get back to you on a better meet time. Thursday, August 23rd at 10:28 a.m. Kobak says, sounds good. I will be at my office all day. Then Kessinger says, okay, I am on a hunt for a SIM card right now. SIM card located. Going to pick it up in about an hour and make sure everything is functioning. Kobak says, so early afternoon? Kessinger says, yeah, I can come over once I am done. I have to go to the store in Cherry Creek to get it. I'll just text you once I'm there, okay? He says, sounds good. Kessinger says, I remember more. It's not much. Kobak says, okay, we can really when you get here. And then he corrects himself and says, talk. Kessinger says, on my way. And Kobak says, see you soon. So then the August 23rd interview happens. That's the one where Kessinger meets Stacey Galbraith and Tammy Lee in the very beginning. And she is much different acting to females than she is to her male interviewers, as we notice. She also meets with Hazel Heckler, who's going to hook her up. And in the very beginning of that interview, Kevin Kobak says something kind of interesting. He says that they need to have the funding approved for them to pay for her therapist because she's not an air quote eyewitness, but she is a witness because, they are treating her like a freaking queen. Unbelievable. So during that interview, they go over a bunch of her text messages. A lot of things are happening with the phone, and they are going over some messages that her phone had mysteriously picked back up between her and Chris Watts. And she says she's going to send them to Kevin Kobak via screenshot. So here's all of the messages she sends via screenshot. Actually, I'm going to put them at the end of this video. I'm not going to read through them, but I'm going to leave them there so you can see all of the messages that her phone mysteriously recovered between her and Chris Watts.
And, I wonder how much, evidence they accepted from her in the form of like her screenshotting something and them just taking her word for it that it was authentic and complete. You know what I'm saying? That's a little alarming.
Kessinger says, I really hope you can recover everything from that phone. Do they sound hopeful about that? Kobak says, yes, I think we'll be able to recover everything. Now on Thursday, August 23rd, it's 6:31 p.m., later the interview day. Kessinger says, I watched his speech on relationships. Kobak says, what do you think? Kessinger says, it was eerie. Still haven't completely processed it, but it made me feel sick. Like I'm not the only one that he was with while he was married.
And probably because he was a chunky little bumblefuck back then. She was probably like, ew.
On the next day, August 24th at 10:47 a.m., she says, I remember a lot from Monday. I apologize. This keeps happening in bits and pieces. Kobak says, it's okay. Let's plan on next week. I am tied up all this week. Kessinger says, okay. And then Kobak says, thanks. I need to speak with Charlotte. Can you provide her number? And then Kessinger sends Charlotte Nelson's. Kessinger says, out of respect, her father's viewing service is tomorrow. Kobak says, I was going to ask. I will wait until next week.
The reason I laugh there is because when you listen to that final interview, and I played excerpts of it in several different videos, the way she talks about Charlotte Nelson and, her father had just died, but she, couldn't have the time of day. Everything was about her, she couldn't go, Charlotte is begging her to go to her father's wake. And she's like, yeah, but I don't want to leave the house. Like, what if I have to encounter like the media and stuff? And like, oh my God. And she's like being so dramatic. And then finally she apologized to me because she was fucking ridiculous. And she was trying, dude, her dad just died. What is your problem? I mean, that was just repulsive.
Kessinger says, should I inform her you are going to call her or not? Kobak says, please don't. Kessinger says, okay. Kobak responds, thank you. Friday, August 24th, 6:22 p.m. Kessinger says, good evening. Do you have an email address where Hazel can send you some documents? Kobak says, I'll text her. Kessinger says, okay, thank you. Kessinger says, is this Friday or next Monday a good time to talk? I'm remembering a lot more. Is it normal to remember this stuff in chunks? How is the text recovery going? Kobak says, hi, Nikki. I'm out of town all week on other business. I will not be working on Monday as it is Labor Day. Can we plan on Tuesday? It is normal when you reflect to get it in chunks. How are you holding up? Kessinger says, I'm okay. Some days are better than others. He says, hang in there. Kessinger says, Tuesday is good. I have a lot of stuff, pages of it. Should I come in or can we do it over the phone? Kobak says, whatever is easier. Kessinger says, did you see the news? And Kobak says, yes. Kessinger says, think that's a real claim? If so, you think they can find him? Kobak says, no idea. And yes. Did he ever mention anything about that? Kessinger says, not at all. I don't know if I believe this yet, but he fooled me into thinking he was a much different person than he is, so anything is possible. But I do have some dates for things he said that I think are kind of in line with some things that other man claimed. I already had them on my list to talk to you about. Kobak says, okay. And then he says, have you seen this? And there is an attachment. Kessinger says, yeah, I saw that. Those people are grasping at straws. That picture is very old, and they don't have my last few employers or correct address, or even my last few addresses for that matter. I'm really going to do my best to stay under the radar as long as possible. Did they release more info about the case at that hearing on November 19th? Kobak says, they may, but not likely, as things are under seal. Do you know this person? Kessinger says, not at all. I saw the day it posted a week or so ago. Been wondering why that guy has been posting all kinds of stuff because it never made any sense. In one of his articles, he talks about a lawsuit too. No idea. If the other lover is fake, I already considered maybe it was the man making the prank, or maybe the poster knows the other man Chris was with and made some assumptions about me. No idea. So they're talking about Trent Bolt here. Kobak says, okay, we will address this next time we meet. I think we better bring you in for a recorded interview. Sorry for the inconvenience. Kessinger says, I have so much I remembered this week anyway. I think it'll be better for everyone. You still want to shoot for Tuesday? I think it'll take a chunk of your day. Kobak's thinking, oh, great. But Kobak says, yes, Tuesday or Wednesday. These people may require my attention on Tuesday. Kessinger says, understood. Please give me a little notice. Kobak says, I will. Moving forward a few days, on Wednesday, August 29th at 12:54 p.m., Kobak says, do you know Michael Kelly? Kessinger says, no, who's that? Kobak says, just wonder if you know the name. Kessinger says, I've attempted to reach out to the therapist numerous times, and they either don't respond or they don't have room for clients. I need a new list. I've been trying so hard to help you guys, and I'm struggling on my end because I feel like I am at a standstill with minimal options. So she's like, I'm helping you guys. I'm giving you this and that, but you're not giving me what you're supposed to be giving me in return. Dude, you're supposed to be freaking giving them the truth. Like, that's it. Like, nothing more. I'm sure nothing else was asked of her. All they want is the truth in an investigation, and she gave them none of that. I can't stand her. Please help. I have so much to say about that, but I want to read your comments first. And Kobak says, okay. Kessinger then says, any luck with restoring my phone messages yet? Would be good to do this all in one day if possible, so I can start to try to focus on healing. Then she says, and I found that link for Michael Kelly reference. None of that stuff makes sense to me, and I don't know those people. Hazel is looking into the therapist thing. She's letting law enforcement know she is one step ahead. Kobak says, okay, thanks. Sorry, I'm in the mountains with limited service. Your phone may make time to get this working on it. Hope Hazel is getting you what you need so you'll feel better. And then on the next day, he says, good morning. What time works for you on Tuesday afternoon? And Kessinger says, whatever works best for you, Kevin. I got a new job too, out of state, starting mid-September. We need to discuss logistics going forward after that as well. Kobak says, okay, congrats on the new job. Are you willing to share? And Kessinger says, not really over text recording, but if you guys will provide me with a private place, I'll be more than willing to speak about new things I am building in my life. Yes, 1 p.m. works. Kobak says, okay, I respect that, and we can talk Tuesday. Thanks. Kessinger says, what time frame are you thinking about? I want to talk to you about new things I am building in my life. Does she really think the investigators of this triple plus homicide give a shit about the new things she's building in her life? I mean, this is so, no matter how many times I go over this material, I already know what was said. Obviously, I've read through it a million times. I read it out loud. It makes me sick every time. About the phone stuff. Kobak says, it depends on how fast they can get it downloaded. Should know more on Tuesday. Then on Monday, Kessinger says, do you want that new Verizon wireless statement printed up or email or flash drive? Kobak says, email or flash would be great. Thanks. Kessinger says, done. Kobak says, thanks. See you tomorrow. Kessinger says, out of curiosity, why do I have to come in to address the news that broke last week? Kobak says, I would like to introduce you to the lead detective and cover anything else you want to talk about. Also speak with you about witness protection and name change info. Kessinger says, sounds good. I want to meet them too. I have a lot to discuss, but I typed it up and organized it. So hopefully it helps make it go faster for you guys.
Hold up.
Kobak says, sounds good.
Wait a minute. I have to go back. Hold up. Wait a minute. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Kevin Kobak says he's the one in like the light blue. I would like to introduce you to the lead detective. Okay, that's Dave Baumhover. They're like changing of the guards to keep the whore chained up, to cover anything else you want to talk about. Also, speak with you about witness protection and name change info. What? Well, what? I never digested that. Kevin Kobak says, also speak with you about witness protection and name change info. Hello? Are you guys with me? Did you catch that? Yeah. Yeah. What? I can't believe I never absorbed that. Again, Kevin Kobak says to her, wait, I got to go back to see what hold it. This is, whoa. Okay, so Kessinger says, do you want that new Verizon wireless statement printed up, email or flash drive? He says, email or flash would be great. Done. Thanks. See you tomorrow. Okay, fine. Flash would be great. Thanks. Kessinger says, done. Kobak says, thanks. See you tomorrow. It's at 8:16 p.m. on whatever day, Friday something. Oh, and then she says, out of curiosity, why I have to come in to address the news that broke last week? And then the next day, he starts out by texting her first at 6:42 a.m. saying, I'd like to introduce you, lead detective, cover anything else you want to talk about. Also speak with you about witness protection and name change info. Guys, what? Dude, I can't believe I never picked that up. You caught that? Just now or before? Whoa. Guys, this is a big deal. Whoa. Okay, listen, because in the last interview they had on, I think it's August 23rd, at some point she's like, so, I need to change my name. Can you help me with that? I can actually bring that up so we can listen to it. It might be in this video. I'm not sure. But he's like, oh, I don't know. That would be like this thing. People do it all the time. I think it would be the county clerk's office, blah, 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 blah. That's not really my department, but I can get info for you if you want. But, I don't know about witness protection. That's a whole thing. She's like, oh, no. I don't know if I need witness protection. Dude, he brings it up to her. He says, I would like to introduce you to lead detective and cover anything else you'd like to talk about, and also speak with you about witness protection and name change info. Oh, Anaphylaxis, are you here? Sherry, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, sweetheart, for the $20 super chat. Yeah, let's just love you. Thank you so much for all the support. Somebody, protection from what? I know. Are you guys as stunned as I am? First time I've seen that, never caught it. I read it and didn't catch it. Yeah. Wow. What the fuck? Right. Yes. Very true, Mary Louise. Dude, that is huge. Whoa, guys, we're having a moment. Whoa. Protection from, hi, Colleen Casey. Yeah, protection from me. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. All right. Wow. I'm obviously not digesting this.
Because she just read it on Watts with bombshell information that we never got to hear. Right. Danielle Wiley, welcome, says that statement directly reconfirms that from that very moment, Nichol is considered a protected state witness. Oh my God. How? Not only did I not absorb that, I promise you, there ain't no one on Watts Island who's picked up on that, because if they did, we would have heard about it by now. This is a big deal. Yeah. Yes, I'm here. I've never heard that. This is crazy to me. Vicky says she's guilty and they protected her for what? She gave them nothing. Exactly. Ghost Pepper says, I thought we knew she was under witness protection, or that something we all assume. Well, I mean, it's just a big question. I mean, yes, I hear you, Ghost Pepper, but I mean, like, this statement right here is like the closest thing to an answer, or a hint towards an answer that we have, because it is so covered up. He says, also speak with you about witness protection and name change info. No wonder this was only in one version of the discovery for like 18 minutes and then it went away. Oh my God. I'm just going to keep playing this, but this is a big deal. And you heard it here first on What's the Obsession. And let me know what y'all think. Kessinger says, out of curiosity, why do I have to come in to address the news that broke last week? Kobak says, I would like to introduce you to the lead detective and cover anything else you want to talk about. Also speak with you about witness protection and name change info. Kessinger says, sounds good. Dude, I want to meet them too. I just can't believe I read those words out loud and it didn't like click. I cannot freaking believe it. Oh my God. But I typed it up and organized it. So hopefully it helps make it go faster for you guys. Kobak says, sounds good. Then that Wednesday, he says, let me know when you get here. And she says, here. And Kobak says, okay, I'll be in the lobby in a minute. Kessinger says, thank you so much for helping me with everything and your team's willingness. Wow. To keep things quiet for me so I can heal. Kobak says, you're welcome. Wow. I'm calling Charlotte shortly. Wow. Kessinger says, she texted me and said she gets out of class around 4:45. And then I can head over after that. So I don't know if she's around, but I try. And Kevin says, I'll call her. Kessinger says, any luck? Kevin says, someone else is going to reach out to her, hopefully tomorrow. She really wants to know what's up with Charlotte, doesn't she? Yeah. And the day he's supposed to be getting a hold of her, she's like, oh yeah, I'm going to be going over to Charlotte straight away. No worries, right? So the information in this video is just one of the many pieces of the puzzle. Recently, in the last couple of weeks, we did a live stream talking about the messages between Nichol Kessinger and Charlotte Nelson and what was said in those text messages that was alarming to law enforcement. And I also uploaded a video about Nichol Kessinger's text messages with Charlotte, the timing and what was said about the children and her wanting to have children or possibly being annoyed that Chris had children. So I'm going to leave the links to those videos in the description box. And here are the text messages that were included as screenshots in this set of text messaging that happened over a couple of weeks between Nichol Kessinger and Kevin Kobak. And these are the messages that Nichol Kessinger discovered when she got a phone back on August 23rd, 2018, in the last recorded interview that she turned the phone on and, oh, there's some messages between her and Chris. And her and Kobak talked about them, and then she emailed them to him. So here they are, and you can read them for yourself. Please take time to... All right. So... we've probably all read these before. So, okay. Yeah. I'm going to put the link to panel in chat because we have to talk about this. Somebody seriously get up here. Wow. I cannot believe that. Wow. Yeah, Joseph. Wait a minute. Okay. I got to find, okay, hold up. You're all going to have to give me a minute here because I got to go into my Nichol Kessinger interview playlist. Has every single word of interviews, whether it was redacted or just in transcript or whatever. I'll put that in the description too. Hold it. So now what I'm doing is I'm going to the last interview. I'll just take you on this little journey with me. All right. Kessinger. Okay. So here we go. Yeah. Okay. So here's the final interview. Here, I'll just bring this in so you can all see what I'm doing. So present, stop screen, present, share screen. Okay. So I'm going to this video, and then just because I know some people ask me sometimes how to do this, I'll just show you. So you go down to the description. I know all of my videos at least have the transcript in them. There's like a live link where you can click show transcript. So I'm going to show the transcript. I'm going to go up to where the transcript is. I'm going to press, what is it? Control F for find. And I'm going to type in the word witness because I know they mentioned witness protection, and there's only 7 instances of it. So we're going to find it real quick. It's towards the end. Whoop. Here we go. You know, like the witness protection thing is very rare. I'm not expecting that. Okay, hold it. Let me see what's all right. I'm going to start where she asks about the name change. Okay. Wait a minute. Anything to find out because I'm surprised I have about 4 days, dying to find out my inner circle. Okay, so she's just talking about how, the media is really trying to get into her inner circle. Okay, so then I'm going to start playing it there. Then she's going to ask him about the name change.
You got good friends.
Yes, I do.
So be thankful for that. And we've had this conversation. Is it, you said you're thinking about going somewhere else? Go.
I don't know when I'm going to do that. Can you guys help me with the name change? You like do that? I'm serious, please.
So I can't do anything for you. That's a legal process. It's really not that difficult. There's just paperwork that needs to be filled out. I think your best bet would just be to call and maybe ask an attorney to help you with that, or seek advice from, I don't even know who you call, honestly, but people change their name all the time when they get married. So it's probably the county clerk, but I think it would have to be at a state level to make a name change. But I don't know specifically how to do that. I don't.
Does that become public? Because that would defeat the purpose.
I don't know. I know it can be done. I just don't know how to do it, and I wouldn't even know who to reach out. I mean, I could find out and let you know, but I don't know how to do it. Like the witness protection thing is very, very rare.
I'm not expecting that.
Yes.
He's not going anywhere.
He's not going to hurt you, all those things. So.
No, I'm not expecting that. I don't even know. Sometimes I'm I just want to do it now, and I'm why? Because
if you go to another state,
I feel like it would defeat the purpose. A part of me, I keep getting really scared that it's going to be really hard to find good employment for a really long time, years and years and years of my life. I feel like people aren't going to want to hire me.
If you go to another state, this is not headlines in that state. You realize that?
I mean, yeah, I do.
And if I do a background on you, you're a good employee. It doesn't come up that you dated Chris Watts and you're involved in this case. It doesn't work that way. So I wouldn't worry too much about that.
But, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like this is just one of those things that if it goes to court, it's going to be huge.
Well, I mean, it's national right now, but it's not it's not the theater event that happened in Aurora 7 years ago.
I love it. He's it's not like the
knows.
theater event that happened in Aurora. Remember that? The shooting? It's not like everyone in the world's going to know about it. Oh no, a heck of a lot more are, Kobak. Don't worry.
It's not that.
Yes, it is bigger than that.
Certainly for you, you're under the microscope and you're feeling it. And anybody can change that for you. So I get it. But I think you need to just step back for a minute.
Oh, sorry, Kylie.
Take a breath, figure out what you're going to do. Obviously, you have some very serious decisions to make over the next, couple of months.
I know. I'm trying to find out how to do all this without spending all my savings. Just saving up for a house, and I'm just like, damn it.
But at least you have savings to fall back on too. A lot of people can't say that.
Yeah, that is true.
Oh, Carrie, we just found a bombshell.
Well, since they fired me, hopefully I can get unemployment for a little while so I can like get my mind right and go to therapy and then go back to work at that point because I am not ready.
Let me go for a little bit.
You're not in trouble.
I didn't know.
Okay,
so
now listen to this
And
too.
I'd like to come to work for you.
I'm thinking about it. Thinking about
This is
reaching
important
out to some
too.
employers. I've always been a really good employee to those people. Everybody
Shut
when I
up.
leave is pretty disappointed. This is the first time I've ever been terminated from a job. So
Sometimes that can be tough to get over too.
it's hard. This was like the dream job. I feel awful about all of this. Like I wanted that for so long to get out of the oil field. I was so
I feel awful about all this. And you'd think for a moment she's going to say that this family is dead, but she's like, no, I wanted so long to get out of the oil field. I'm piece of crap.
tired of living on oil rigs. It's such a rough life. I just want to be in the office and working environment.
I just want to be in the office, nice and comfortable. Dude, at least you're alive. I mean, your boyfriend just murdered his family, and well, we're pretty sure you helped, and all you can care about is like wanting to be in a nice, comfy, cushy office instead of on an oil rig. This is just so nauseating. I know you guys know. I know you know. But you're my friends that listen to me say it over and over again, so thank you.
I was for an oil company, and I finally got it, and all this happened.
Well, you have that skill set now, so maybe you can move back into
I
that.
hope so. We will see.
Listen.
I forgot what else was next. Are you guys? Am I in trouble because I deleted his text?
Am I in trouble because I deleted those texts?
You're not in trouble.
I didn't know.
You're not in trouble. You can make that call, dude? Seriously? Apparently that call's been made.
Going on at that point.
So, I know. Does that cause questions?
Of course
it does. There is, but is it criminal? No. Is there concern
It is criminal.
that you're hiding something? Potentially. That's why I want him, or I wouldn't be asking for him.
I know.
And you've been upfront with me about everything. I don't have a concern that you ever told Chris, I don't want you, go kill your wife, or get rid of your kids, or I don't want to date you if you have kids.
Yep.
None of those things
Well, you
ever came out of
really
your mouth.
believe
We
that, my
talked
friend?
about
You
that.
are dumb.
So, but until those text messages that are
Okay,
deleted,
now here's the important thing, okay? You just heard that. You heard her ask him, can you help me with changing my name? Okay. This interview is on August 23rd, 2018, okay? So do you want to know when that text that we just discovered was? Well, let me tell you and show you. So that interview, when they talked about the name change and witness protection, he's like, oh, witness protection is a specific thing. Oh, I don't necessarily expect that. Well, they must have had some side conversations not recorded, because when Kevin Kobak says to her, I need to talk to you about the new detective on the case and also witness protection and the name change, that was after this interview, okay? So now we are on August 29th, 6 days after that interview. Do you know Michael Kelly? Know who is that? Just wonder if you knew the name. I attempted to reach out to those therapists numerous times. So much to say about that, but me. Any luck restoring my phone messages? Would it be good to do this all at once? I can start to try to focus on healing. Something about Michael Kelly. She wants to talk to Hazel. Okay, so now we're on, that was the 29th. Now we're on the 30th. Okay, still 30th. All right, hold it. Then we go to the next Monday. Shit, okay, hold it. The 30th, all right. So how many days are in? Wait a minute. How many days are in August? 30 days has September, April, May, and December. Okay, so there's 31 days. So Saturday would be the 31st. Sunday would be September 1st. All right, so it is now September 2nd when Kevin Kobak says to Nichol Kessinger, his first text to her, first thing in the morning, after she's talking about, getting him those text messages, I would like to introduce you to the lead detective and cover anything else you'd want to talk about. Also, speak with you about witness protection and name change info. That is September 2nd, 2018. So on August 23rd, during that interview, she said, can you help me change my name? Come on. Don't fucking let me down. You know, all of that. And he's like, oh, well, I don't know. I guess you go to the county clerk. And, you know, witness protection is a whole certain thing. They must have spoken about it offline, absolutely positively, between August 23rd and September 2nd, because on September 2nd at 6:42 a.m., he says, also speak with you about witness protection and name change info. Boom. Thank you, Edward. Thank you. Wow. Yeah. Carrie says, I'd be shaking my boots if I was dating someone who is accused of doing what he did and all chillante, like I am talking about my plans for the weekend. Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Colleen Casey says, for sure, stuff has been erased from everywhere. You can drive a spaceship through the gaps. Absolutely. Oh, wow. Marie Louise says, it's weird that they let her ping at the Watts house on the 13th. They let just go by. Yeah. Yeah. Narrator says, at this point, her name wasn't even released yet. Why was she already talking about name change? Dude, this is such a big deal, guys. Do y'all agree with me on that? Wow. Pretend judge, welcome. How are you doing? Says he wouldn't say that if he hadn't set up someone for her to speak with about witness protection. Exactly. More and more, I believe that's where she went. You know what? Right at this moment, I believe that absolutely. I can't even believe we hadn't picked up on that till now. Ashley Victoria says, I think she knows a lot more. Of course, they had side conversations. Of course they did, right? Carrie says, and her flirting in the interviews is just disgusting. Yeah. Amber Fry didn't need a name change, says James McLean. Right, because she didn't do anything wrong. She was just an upstanding person who was truly a victim. Joseph says, I never seen when Kobak talked to NK about changing her name in the interview. Interesting, right? And then to follow up, like a week and a half later, coming back to her, yeah, I got to get with you about that name the name change and witness protection stuff. I totally cannot believe it. Thank you, Dave, for giving me the amen. Wow. Kylie says, I heard she just changed the spelling of her name, dropped the N, goes by Icky. That's funny. That's so funny. Icky empanada, accent on the E because she's fancy like Beyonce. Oh my God, you're so hilarious. I was like, where's she going with this? Oh my God, that's really funny. Oh my God, this is a big deal. Thank you for discovering a big deal with me. Ghost Pepper says she's completely disappeared and the authorities made it easy for her to do so. Yeah, and I believe it in this moment more than I ever had in the past 6 years. You're so funny. Hey, Beach Bum. Oh, wow. Narrator says, okay, they obviously had something big on her. Otherwise, they wouldn't be talking about witness protection or a name change before her name was even released. Yeah, okay. So, oh, God, I just want to say everything I can say. They do have something big on her. Damn. Carrie says she was jealous of his wife and her life, point blank. I just tapped into this case a little last year, and I was so creeped out. This person, NK, is a home wrecking the world on the loose. Yeah, absolutely. No, your jokes are funny, Kyla. That was hilarious. Yeah, it is a big deal, Valerie. Oh my gosh. Icky is what? Icky is whose last name? Icky is my sister-in-law's name. Oh, how are you doing, Jody? Pretend Judge says, I'm not sure how, but as involved as NK's dad was, I do feel he somehow helped guide her into a program. Money talks when it comes to courts. You know, that's the truth. Colleen says, remember the rumor that she met with law enforcement in the park, like before they spoke with him? Yeah. Yep. Oh, well, I'm so glad you did. Hey, London Dairy, welcome. How are you doing? Wow. Edward says, I bet Chris pled guilty to protect NK. I think it has something to do with that. Also because he's just a freaking wuss and I don't know. Wow. Molly says, NK's dad probably to the cops, she would tell them info only if she was protected the day they showed up. Yeah, I definitely get that feeling too. Or something big for her, Kobak. She sung like a canary. Oh my gosh. Kylie says, I mean, her life can't be threatened, right? Truthfully, I feel like this could be even worse. She's living her own personal hell that she created for herself. Well, that's what she deserves. Hi, welcome. So glad you made it. Oh gosh. We just found something big too. Narrator says, Kylie, I agree. Karma sometimes comes for us in ways we never expect. I think this is worse for her than being in jail. We can only wish. Oh my gosh. And Kay is like, I don't need to be fancy. I buy my bikinis at the thrift store. And Chris loved it. Says a lot, right? Thank you, Ashley Victoria. Oh my gosh. All right. So, you know what? I am going to have to end this because, you know, I have to go to work in the morning and all of that. But I am just like, this is like really a big deal. I need to absorb this. We will have follow up. Let's just I brought this back and let's just listen to like the little bit leading up to when this is said about the witness protection, just for context. And then we're going to close out. Let me go back just a little. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. I usually have these moments like by myself when I'm doing research. It's so much fun that we're on a live stream. In my life. Yes, 1 p.m. works. Kobak says, okay, I respect that. And we can talk Tuesday. Thanks. Oh, here's one of the icky texts. Let's just get all icky by hearing that part. That as well. Kobak says, okay, congrats on the new job. Are you willing to share? And Kessinger says, not really over text recording, but if you guys will provide me with a private place, I'll be more than willing to speak about new things I am building in my life. Yes, 1 p.m. works. Kobak says, okay, I respect that. And we can talk Tuesday. Thanks. Kessinger says, what time frame are you thinking about the phone stuff? Kobak says, it depends on how fast they can get it downloaded. Should know more on Tuesday. Then on Monday, Kessinger says, do you want that new Verizon wireless statement printed up or email or flash drive? Kobak says, email or flash would be great. Thanks. Kessinger says, done. Kobak says, thanks. See you tomorrow. Kessinger says, out of curiosity, why do I have to come in to address the news that broke last week? Kobak says, I would like to introduce you to the lead detective and cover anything else you want to talk about. Also speak with you about witness protection and name change info. Kessinger says, sounds good. Okay. I want to meet them too. I have a lot to discuss, but I typed it up and organized it. So hopefully it helps make it go faster for you guys. So I'll also speak with you about witness flash would be great. Thanks. Kessinger says, done. Kobak says, thanks. See you tomorrow. Kessinger says, out of curiosity, why do I have to come in to address the news that broke last week? Okay, and there's no response from him, at least by text. So that ends our text correspondence on Sunday, September 1st. First thing in the morning, 6:42 a.m. I think this is the first time when he initiates correspondence with her, and certainly that early, September 2nd, Monday, September 2nd. Is that Labor Day? 2018. Here it is. Kobak says, I would like to introduce you to the lead detective and cover anything else you want to talk about. Also speak with you about witness protection and name change info. What? That's right. Damn. Beach Bomb. It's on September 2nd, after Nichol Kessinger asked Kobak about getting help with changing her name and, how they're going to help protect her in the August 23rd interview. And he was kind of dismissive, like, oh, you probably just go to the county clerks. I don't know. It's not really my department, but, I guess I can help you out. No, witness protection is kind of like a certain thing. Then all of a sudden on September 2nd, like a week and a half later, out of seemingly nowhere, but this is why we're saying they must have had conversations offline that weren't recorded. He says to her, he starts a conversation with her at like 6:42 in the morning saying, I want to introduce you to the new detective that's Dave Baumhover and speak with you about witness protection and name change info. I had never caught that. I freaking read it out loud even. I don't know how many times I read it to myself. Wow. Yeah, it's news. Oh my gosh. Okay. Joseph says, why are they letting her get away with these murders? It's pretty weird. Well, maybe it's because law enforcement made a mistake, right? Maybe they knew forthcoming. We're going to talk more about that when we can. Beach Bum, she asked for witness protection and name change, and he was kind of dismissive. Now he's bringing it up to her. Like, was it pretend judge who said, he must have, or one of you, I'm sorry if I'm getting it wrong. He must have made some kind of arrangements behind the scene for him to bring it up like this. I need to know, narrator says, I need to know why we haven't seen any interviews with her discussing any sort of news leak. Yeah, it is interesting, Beach Bomb. It is. Molly says, I'm Clark. Dad is some kind of consultant who knows the business. He acted like an authority. Do you hear me? Reprimanded the interviewer. Do you guys know what the dad does? You guys will probably be surprised to know I made a video about that. Shut up, NK. She knows everything. It's insane. She knows everything about their life. Okay, so people are always speculating about Dwayne Kessinger. I found Dwayne Kessinger. Apparently, I heard maybe it was House Huddle channel. I love House Huddle. She's wonderful. When I put this video out, I thought that I discovered this information. People told me that she had already found it. So I just want to say that. I'm sure she did. She's a great researcher. She's a great channel. We love House Huddle here. So I can't claim that I'm the only one who found it. But I was one of the, no, I'm just kidding. But I made a video about it. Hold it. Let me find it here. I'm just kidding. I don't really care about that kind of thing. Most of the grounds we have gained, so to speak, if you want to even put it like that, with this case, obviously have been due to teamwork, right? All right, hold it. Let me, I got to read these titles here. Chris Watts, Brian Koberger, Chris Watts, directed interview, Idaho 4, Brian Koberger, Hunter Johnson, 911 call, Corey Richens, deleted text messages, Corey Richens. Oh, here we go. All right, this is only 9 minutes. I'm just going to play this. This is what Dwayne Kessinger is up to. This is his deal. This is all about Dwayne Kessinger. This is what I learned about Dwayne Kessinger when I took a little Dwayne Kessinger deep dive. 9 minutes. Then Mama got to go.
Welcome back to Watts the Obsession. And today I have a special treat for you. We know where one Kessinger is and what that Kessinger is up to these days. And I'm sorry, it's not the person, the empanada, formerly known as Nichol Kessinger. I'm going to give you a hint. Do you recognize this sexy empanada voice? I bet you do. Who is it?
We would stop the pump from running. So ideally, this combined manifold flow and pressure would actually be what we need.
I mean, it's definitely not Nichol Kessinger.
Hi. It's me.
I'm having a wonderful time.
I miss your face.
Yeah, I have
I'm
the
answering
credit,
the
and
question.
I have all these
We're
things.
gonna learn all about
I have all
Dwayne.
these things, and I have all these things that I can't tell you.
Leave Jim alone. I still don't remember what we talked about.
But it's her dad, Dwayne Kessinger.
I've known Jim for years and years. We don't want to take all of our pressure.
Dwayne Kessinger, who was present at 2 of her 3 Danielle, yes, you're right. Watch in-person interviews with law enforcement.
Didn't know.
You're leading into questions that are nothing with your.
In the week following the tragic murders of Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and unborn baby Nico Watts.
Wait, Nick.
That she was there.
Did you hear what I said?
Dwayne Kessinger is currently living in Colorado, as we would expect, and he is the engineering project manager on actually a really cool project. And we now know that Dwayne Kessinger is an engineer. All right, when I called this like a really cool project and stuff, I did not. I'll be honest. I did the deep dive into Dwayne Kessinger. I stopped there. I didn't look into the project. I didn't know about the whole COVID thing. So please forgive me for my mischaracterization. I've heard about it. So yeah, my bad. Here for sure. It seems like at the level of a position that he's in within this company, I would have to imagine that he's always been an engineer, and probably as far as his career goes, he will always be an engineer. A lot of speculation has gone around about Dwayne Kessinger in the past 5 years. That's for damn sure, including that he's a high-level member of law enforcement, politics, a Freemason. I hear that all the time. And even that he is a diplomat or a foreign diplomat or something. And guys, none of those are true at all. And in fact, one of my channel moderators, Cecile, you are the bomb. Wait a minute. Totally debunked. He could be a Mason. I don't know. It's definitely not true. The diplomat thing is not true because our girl Cecile totally trashed that, debunked it like big time. The theory that really caught on for a while that he is some kind of diplomat, and that's why NK received the level of protection she did. Now, I must say the channel that originally came up with that idea, I like very much, and I like the creator very much, so there's no shade on that, but I'm just saying, I don't think Dwayne Kessinger was ever any of those things. I think that he was simply a dude, a guy, a dad, an engineer, allowed to strong arm a CBI agent into fashioning an interview with a murderer's current mistress any old way he wanted.
Wait, Nick.
That she was there.
Did you hear what I said?
To protect that mistress, to protect that skanky empanada. Quick side note, get to know What's the Obsession a little better. People often ask, and many of you know exactly why I say skanky empanada, or I used to say skanky empanada, but thank you for correcting me. Now I say skanky empanada. And so many people ask why I say that often. So in some text messages between Chris Watts and Nichol Kessinger that were recovered, we just see a few from Chris Watts, and here they are. He refers to her as his sexy empanada. Ugh. So I just changed. Nope. Okay, so what are the details? I know you guys love the details. So Wayne Kessinger is working on this project, and as I said, it's a really great project. It was, thought up during COVID when you remember, my gosh, especially in the beginning. Again, I apologize for my mischaracterization. I did not realize the flaws of this project and the consequences of them when I created this video. Beginning of COVID, when people were getting sick, there weren't enough hospital beds, there weren't enough ventilators, and you guys remember how horrible it was. We all remember. Terrible. We needed to come up with solutions as a humanity to address the issues that came up for the first time in the history of the world, as far as we know, the recorded history of the world. And this sounds like it could be one of these solutions. It's pretty cool. So let me just tell you a little bit about the backstory, and I'll tell you a little more about our boy Dwayne. Nick, stop. Did you hear what I said? Okay, anyway, I'm sorry. Sometimes I have to kind of channel my inner Dwayne Kessinger, get a little, stop. Did you hear what I said? Okay, this project began on March 16th, 2020, when Dr. William Whetstone contacted Dr. Thomas Greene. These are all Colorado University people for the most part, stating that conditions looked grim regarding current forecasts for COVID-19 cases in the San Francisco Bay Area. That's where it first broke out, right? Yeah. In the United States. In addition, that a nationwide shortage of ventilators was anticipated. Whetstone asked Greene whether he thought a field ventilator could be designed and built quickly to provide basic respiratory support for multiple patients to prevent a situation of having to deny any person rescue ventilation in the event of a shortage of FDA-approved hospital ventilators. Great initiative, saving lives. I love it.
And
They
again,
say our
I
hope
know
is that
I've been told it's a mischaracterization. This I don't even the ventilators. I've heard different things about it. I've offended people, and I am super sorry for that. But anyway, regardless of the outcome of the project, not that it doesn't matter. It matters tremendously. It was supposed to save people's lives. If it didn't, or if it ended their lives, if it progressed the ending of their lives, horrible. But the video is about Dwayne Kessinger, so I sincerely do apologize if anyone's offended.
a critical national shortage of rescue ventilators identified during the COVID-19 pandemic, which exposes a strategic vulnerability, as well as the realization that developing nations have no ventilators at all. So sad. We'll find a potential solution in this field ventilation service. Through testing and refinement, we hope that this device will provide a real solution that can be readily produced at reasonable cost. Great stuff. Good job, guys. I think that's amazing. The website goes on to talk about how they developed this technology. Now, it does sound as though Dwayne Kessinger is kind of a big deal in his own way, in his world, as an engineer at least, and certainly in this project. We can see on this website, we can learn that Dwayne Kessinger is the engineering manager at the company. And then there's several photos that are featured
Yeah, I know.
here.
Trust me, guys, I get it. My dad died of COVID. Like, I know. I know.
Well as that short video that I've been playing in the background or as a video. And several of the captions have his name in it and talk about what he is doing. For example, Dwayne Kessinger giving writing instructions to Kevin Kobak.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. Dwayne Kessinger,
I'm
power
sorry,
module.
that wasn't in response to you. God, I just read what you wrote, and that sounded horrible. That was not in response to you. I was just imagining what people were thinking, and I am very sorry. It's freaking all horrible. It's all horrible. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that.
Instruction. Dwayne Kessinger writing instructions of what Nichol Kessinger should say. And then again, Dwayne Kessinger, engineering manager at this company. So, it does sound like he is the man in charge here. It sounds like a pretty extensive, I know what I'm talking about. I'm no engineer. Looks like kind of a big deal, doing great work. So,
or not.
And as you're scrolling through the timeline of how things went down, they did the prototype and the test and the bigger test, and you can read it for yourself if you'd like. Dwayne Kessinger is highlighted a couple times here. I'll just read you a couple of these little notes. Today, Dwayne Kessinger of this company and I critically evaluated potential failure modes of the ventilator as designed and prototyped. We identified better solenoid valves. Spartan Scientific later supplied 20 million cycle valves built specifically for these field ventilator units versus 1 million cycle valves used for the prototype, and better digital relay timers with 100% solid state electronics. They're just giving props to Dwayne Kessinger. That makes no sense to me. Maybe it does to you, and then you might enjoy reading this in its entirety. They document a lot here. And then again, today we revised the prototype to improve anticipated service life in digital valve timers, solenoid valves, and switching relays. Bold thanks to Dwayne Kessinger for Spec G, a drop-in power module complete with new programmable logic controller. So, hey, thanks so much, Dwayne. I hope this project is a success. And props to you. Snap, snap, snaps from What's the Obsession. I thought it was pretty cool to get a little, peek into Dwayne Kessinger's world. Why is that cool? Because this is What's the Obsession, God damn it. This is What's the Obsession. That's all. Yeah. So what do you think about that? Oh, leave a comment down.
That was a weird video for me to make, obviously. Talking about Dwayne Kessinger. I don't know. That was just weird. I don't even remember how I came with the information. I was Googling his name and came across current stuff. That was it. So, all right, guys. So I do have to end this here, but wow. Oh, we're going to be following up on this for sure. Yeah. Please hit like, share, do whatever. Let people know that Kevin Kobak approached Nichol Kessinger at 6:42 in the morning on September 2nd, 2018, a week and a half after their final recorded interview, telling her that he needs to talk to her about witness protection. Because that's a big deal. Damn.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you very much, moderators, subscribers, members, and people just lurking. Come on down, hit subscribe, hit like, come back and join us again. We're happy you're here. I know her red face is crazy, right? Joseph says he has some kind of power. He gets NK out of everything. That is very true, right? I know. Goddess. Oh, hey, thanks. Goddess Sahara. Happy you're watching. Thanks so much. My mind is blown. Mine too. Thank you for being here, Pretend Judge and Susan, Vicky, Anaphylaxis. Okay, I am gonna head out here, but thank you guys so much for being here. And we all have to absorb this. Email me if you have some thoughts on this, watsobsession@gmail.com. Never heard this in all my years of hearing about this case. Girl, I'm assuming girl, goddess. Me neither. Mind blown. Glad you were here for it. Woo! This was an epic one. All right, guys, remember, life is hard, so be good to each other. Most of all, be good to yourselves and think about what you're reading out loud, damn it. So you don't say things like Kevin Kobak is approaching Nichol, telling her he wants to talk about witness protection and it doesn't ever absorb into your thick little skull. Yeah, I can't believe that. Wow. But I'm going to be good to myself and not be mad at myself about it because that's what I'm telling y'all to do. But that is just crazy. All right. I'm doing a live stream tomorrow night, Friday night. So I really hope to see you guys there.